Let me do the lay of the land very quickly and get into the more advanced parts. But if you are a little confused, for the last year up to the present, there was a major crisis that the Aftermath Foundation, which Aaron Smith Levin co founded, basically pushed him off due to a coup d'etat. I've criticized the methodology of getting rid of Aaron, and to put it mildly, the people behind it are very suspicious. And Aaron promised to create his own foundation, which is now present, but there are a lot of question marks. So I'm going to focus on two major things, but I just want to give people the basic rundown on what is the SPTV Foundation, because it's a little confusing. Now, as far as I know, at the time of this recording, it is not a 501. So this is not a charity where you give money to it, you can do a tax deduction on your IRS form. Can't do that at this point. It hasn't yet been approved by the IRS, which is a little troubling. So at this point, essentially, the foundation is Aaron's private corporation. So if you give money, you are essentially just giving money to Aaron and his friends. But I'm not just here to be negative towards Aaron. Is there a positive side? What are the benefits of the SPTV Foundation? Well, there are some. I think probably the strongest board members are Sterling, who is connected to the Miscavige family, but he has gotten out and been a sharp critic of Miscavige, and Zach, who is a lawyer that Aaron knows. But again, how much power they have? What is this board really? Does it formally have any voting rights? It's all a little confusing, and it is alarming when we probe deeper that the bad does outweigh the good. So first of all, the composition of the board has shifted quite a few times. I'm only going to look at two major changes. So on the one hand, Jenna Miscavige has consistently been there from the beginning. Unfortunately, the reason for that may be that Aaron and her, allegedly, I don't know for sure, but apparently it is official that they are a couple together. And one of the alarming things with the Aftermath Foundation on the other side of the table is there were so many married couples. There are no less than 3 married couples on the Aftermath board. Now, Claire and Mike Rinder, who basically control the foundation, have done a few things to change that. They've added a lot more board members, so presumably the influence of those 3 couples is somewhat diminished, but it's still a little troubling. But Jenna and Aaron are basically copying that model. So now we have a couple which basically has a foundation as their private corporation. So that's very, very troubling. And then they lost Christi, who is allegedly a friend of Aaron. And Christi has her own problems. Apparently, she was doing some very questionable propaganda attacking certain critics because they didn't meet the Aaron/Rinder model of how to do criticism. So that was a little strange, but it's okay. And apparently, she was the treasurer, at least in the past. But at least at this point, she doesn't appear to be on the SPTV Foundation anymore. There's no explanation. She's just not there anymore. And it seems like she was there at the very beginning of composing the board and composing the corporation, but now she's gone. So is this due to a scandal with her? Is it due to a conflict with Aaron? Again, it could be totally innocent, but again, the SPTV Foundation people have not clarified. And let me finish off with a major dilemma. Now, whatever we think about the Aftermath Foundation and Rinder and Claire Headley, it is a legitimate 501. You can double check the EIN identity of the Aftermath Foundation. Now with Aaron, so will it try to obtain the EIN? Maybe, maybe not. But at this point, it doesn't have the EIN. Maybe Aaron Goodfaith is trying to get the EIN, but at this point, it doesn't have it. So it is putting itself out there correctly as a nonprofit corporation. But I think some people might be fooled that it's a 501. So did perhaps Christi raise this question a little bit too hard and Aaron got rid of her? It's just a lot of troubling questions. So at this point, just from the perspective of donating and giving help, good or bad, we can double check donations with the Aftermath Foundation. With the SPTV Foundation, we can't do that. So it's just a lot of alarm bells that it does seem to be a very partisan organization that is there mainly to benefit, frankly, Aaron and Jenna. And now, of course, they're threatening the Aftermath Foundation. But again, legally speaking and financially speaking, good or bad, Claire has set up a solid 501, whereas Aaron has not. Maybe that will change, but at this point, it's all very, very suspicious.